She wears different costumes, but she's always there. Amid the myriad of mysterious storylines and various literary references in new horror Netflix show The Fall of the House of Usher, one element keeps reappearing: Verna, the mysterious character played by Carla Gugino. The Netflix show follows the Usher family, twins Roderick, Bruce Greenwood, and Madeline Usher, Mary McDonnell, and his many kids, as they die off, one by one. In each death, the same seemingly ageless woman seems to always be involved. What does Verna have to do with the family's slow demise? Read on to find out. Verna gives away her role in the show during her first conversation. Verna seems mysterious, but she gives herself away during her first conversation on the show, minutes before Prospero Usher, Sauriyan Sapkota, the youngest Usher, becomes the fifth sibling to die. The night of his blowout rave party, Verna appears, seductively luring him into a bedroom. After Prospero asks who she is, Verna responds, "Consequence, and tonight is consequential." Following a brief conversation, in which Prospero Usher suggests they sleep together, Verna exits the room and disappears into the crowd. Suddenly, the sprinkler system starts up, which the youngest Usher child expects will make the night all the more lively. But the liquid that falls from the ceiling isn't water, it's acid taken from a Fortunato pharmaceutical laboratory, causing every attendee's skin to burn off. As the over 70 dead bodies lay on the ground of the club, Verna approaches Prospero Usher in the center and puts her mask over his face before leaving. Verna shows up during the other Usher family deaths. Here's how. Verna is a stranger at first, making it easy to interfere with the Usher siblings' lives and set up scenarios that lead to their deaths. She unleashes their fears, preys on their worst impulses, all using a bit of inexplicable magic. Camille L'Espanaye, Kate Siegel, is the nosy, PR-oriented daughter trying to dig up a secret from her sister Victorine Lafourcade's, Tenaya Miller, Animal Laboratory. Verna transforms from a security guard into a chimpanzee and fatally attacks her. At this point, Roderick and Madeline Usher, along with their private investigator Arthur Pym, Mark Hamill, take note of the mysterious figure at the party and the misplaced security guard, but can't place her. When Verna sells Napoleon Usher, Rahul Kohli, a black cat, the son snaps a close-up picture of the woman, which brings the siblings a step further to recognizing her. But before they can stop her, she drives Napoleon Usher so crazy that he falls to his death off his balcony chasing down the cat. Even as the family awakens to Verna's presence, the woman doesn't stop wreaking havoc on the family. She agrees to be the first patient for a human trial for Victorine's cardiac medical device, which arguably isn't ready to hit the market. After Victorine Usher accidentally kills her girlfriend and lead doctor, Alessandra Ruiz, Paula Nunez, and stores her body in a gruesome way, Verna seems to cause a constant clicking noise, which resembles that of the heart contraption, to drive the Usher daughter into madness until she kills herself. Tamerlane Usher, Samantha Sloyan, is up next. First appearing as a sex worker for the Usher and her husband, Verna keeps showing up in her life, prompting Tamerlane Usher to question her significant other's loyalty. The last straw comes when Verna appears in the second row of the crowd at an opening for the daughter's lifestyle brand. At home, she can't help but hear Verna's booming voice speaking to her as she crashes mirrors and dies from the glass shards piercing her body. As for Frederick Usher, Henry Thomas, the last of the children to die, Verna ensures he takes too much of the paralyzing drug that he's been vindicatively force-feeding his injured wife, who is severely burned from Prospero Usher's party. While visiting a construction site, Frederick Usher runs into Verna and suddenly can't move his body and collapses to the floor. As a giant pendulum sweeps back and forth inching closer to the Usher, Verna lays with him to explain why she chose to have him killed in such a brutal manner. Verna's connection to the Ushers goes back to a fateful night at a bar. The final episode of the show reveals Verna to be the devil, or at least one of his demonic emissaries. She's an entity designed to lead humans astray. She is the catalyst for the Usher family's immense fortune, then subsequent downfall. While the youngest children are all meeting death's door in brutal fashions, Madeline Usher finally identifies Verna. She's the bartender they met on New Year's Eve in 1980, after she and her brother conspired to commit a crime. Initially only giving glimpses into flashbacks of that night years ago, Verna appears to take a particular interest in a young Roderick and Madeline Usher. That night, she acted as a bartender who served Roderick and Madeline Usher after the two killed his boss just hours prior. Verna knows this information without them saying anything and asks them about resolutions, specifically, if they would prefer wealth or fame. When they both immediately answer they are seeking wealth, Verna says she can promise to make them incredibly rich and live a life of ease and luxury on one condition: their offspring will only live as long as Roderick and Madeline Usher do. After only a slight hesitation, the two make a deal with Verna, which is solidified with a shared drink. Verna does have a moment of humanization, though, when dealing with the death of Roderick Usher's sweet and brave granddaughter, Lenore Usher, Kylie Curran. Sitting on the bed next to Lenore Usher in the final moments of the show, Verna explains that she doesn't get any joy from moments like that, versus other parts of her job. She told Lenore Usher that she saved her mom's life and will continue to make an impact, even after her own death. Verna suddenly places a hand on Lenore Usher's head and the girl peacefully falls asleep to her death. Verna is connected to other famous families. Through Pym's research, they find that Verna has been pictured with a number of wealthy and famous people throughout history, appearing to never age. At one point, she tells Roderick Usher, however, that he is one of the top body counts of all those she's worked with. Fortunato Pharmaceuticals produced a drug called Ligadun, a fictional painkiller that caused millions of death. At the end of the show, with Roderick and Madeline dead in their childhood home, Verna appears atop the house wearing a black lace dress and then transforms into a raven before flying away. As lines from Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven are read in the background, Verna visits the